Married twice, divorced twice, massive child support payments, massive daycare expenses, paying off my ex's van. This is the story of Strong Dong King Kong, also known as me, and how I got to where I am today, despite going through several financially devastating events. And the moral of the story is, if you're frugal and you live below your means and you buy VT and you max your tax advantage accounts and you're hardworking and diligent and handsome, you can go anywhere in life. So what are the vital stats of me? I'm age 35. I'm an accountant. That is my main job. I also have side jobs. I do YouTube, where I generate income. I'm launching a tax preparation business. See the pinned comment if you'd like me to do your taxes. Free consultations, upfront quotes, fully digital, any state in the United States. And I do textbook editing for accounting textbooks. So when I combine all that together, that gives me a pretty good living, okay? I'm divorced twice. Yes, I know. I have 2 kids. My current net worth in this bubble market is $630,000. I don't expect that to last very much longer. I have a car. It's a Ford Fiesta 2014, paid off. I am a homeowner. I live in a 3-bedroom townhouse. My income is pretty decent. I'm probably like upper middle class. And I have a massive schlong. These are the vital stats of me, this handsome man. This was me in like 2018. I think I look better than this, but you can be the judge of that. So where did it all start? Well, between the ages of 0 and 17, did I save any money? I saved about $3,000 from summer jobs. That's basically it. But I didn't really know anything about finance, okay? My dad was in the Army. My mom was stay at home. It's hard for women to get jobs when their spouse is in the military. I've lived in Korea for 4 years, Italy for 5 years, and various military bases around the world. I've been to an F-ton of countries. Half of them I don't even remember, but I've been to China, Thailand, and basically all of Europe. This picture right here is me hanging out with an elephant in Thailand, okay? I was a good little boy, okay? I had good grades, didn't have any girlfriends. I liked to read books, Warhammer, even though I didn't buy the stock because I'm a clown. I like to play games, StarCraft, and I was a very quiet boy. And like I said, I didn't really know anything about investing, but I saved about $3,000 from summer jobs. But there was actually something that was, almost a prediction of my future spending habits. I used to play this game called Pokemon Red, right, on the Game Boy. And in Pokemon Red, I literally never spent money. I would lose battles multiple times, save and lose battles multiple times, never buy potions, never buy Pokeballs unless I absolutely had to. I basically just saved a fortune and never spent in Pokemon. And by the time I completed every Pokemon game, I was absolutely loaded. Absolutely loaded in the Pokemon game. And that was actually, foreshadowing for my future because I was super cheap in the game. Super cheap. Super frugal. Very smart with my money. Just save. And while I didn't know it at the time, that was my future as an adult. Okay? So between 0 and 17, Pokemon and save $3,000 with summer jobs, lifeguarding, etc., etc. Then I go to college. I did Army ROTC. I got an Army ROTC scholarship, which paid for everything. They pay for you. They paid my tuition, and my college paid my room and board. I specifically chose my college because they paid for my room and board. Other colleges were not going to pay for my room and board. I wanted free room and board and not have any college debt, so I chose the college I went to, Wofford College in South Carolina. While I was in college, I joined a frat. You can see me at a frat party, bro. I got a history major because I was lazy, and I wanted a high GPA so I could go on active duty in the Army. I met my first wife in college. We were in ROTC together. And I commissioned as a second lieutenant Graduated and married my first queen in 2011. Very big year, 2011, okay? During this time, I didn't really save much. I ended college with roughly $3,000, okay? I got a little stipend from the Army that they paid me every month, which was nice, and they covered my books, and I basically graduated with zero debt, okay? Zero debt and some money saved, which is one of the key contributors, a huge contributor to my financial success. Getting through college without debt is crucial, okay? Absolutely crucial. Do not go into massive debt for college. Do not be a clown. It will bite you in the butt later in life, okay? So, my financial journey began in 2011, 2012. My financial journey. So, before then, obviously, I had like summer jobs and, I had my little, week stipend from the Army. But I basically didn't really have any money. But I had the advantage of not having any student loan debt. And any other I didn't have any debt at the time. And I started active duty as a gold bar recruiter. This is a picture of me in late 2011 as a cute little butter bar. Look how cute I was, okay? And my job was working at my college, getting paid an active duty Army salary to recruit people. And I did that for a couple months, and then I went to my officer training, and then I went to my base eventually at Fort Hood. While I was a gold bar recruiter in South Carolina at my college, I lived insanely cheap. My rent was $400. I got generic food from Walmart. I lived extremely cheap. Okay? And because I did that, I didn't go crazy the second I got a freaking paycheck. I saved $10,000 in cash very freaking quickly. Okay? With a second lieutenant salaries, basic housing allowance, and not blowing a lot of money, it was not hard to save $10K. Okay? Plus, my queen at the time was not spending much at that time. And once I saved $10K, that's the first thing I did. I started dabbling in random mutual funds in Vanguard. I think I bought like a dividend growth and a small cap and a mid cap and a bond fund. And it was like 25, 25, 25. And I kept that for like a couple months. And then I eventually sold it all for like a target retirement fund, okay? Basically, I was just like dabbling in mutual funds. Didn't really know what I was doing. And at that time, I started contributing to my thrift savings plan in early 2012, which is like your Army 401k. So right off the bat, saved $10,000 and then immediately started investing once I had $10,000. And every time I got a raise, every time I made a little bit more money, I would always increase my TSP contributions. And I never took the money out. I never, ever sold, except obviously to reallocate in the taxable account that one time in 2011. I never sold in my TSP. And I bought a simple target retirement fund. That's all I did. Chuck money at it. Every time I got a raise, put more money in it. Over and over and over and over again. That was my strategy. So this was the beginning of my journey in 2011, 2012. Okay? Then I went to Fort Hood, Texas. Okay? The entire time I was able to save, and like I said, every time I got a raise, I would just contribute to my 401k. I was married. I was an officer. My spouse was an officer. We made a lot of freaking money. Okay, this was a huge part of how I could save a bunch of money. We didn't have any kids. And with 2 first lieutenants, then captains, we were making like close to $200,000 by like 2015. We were balling. We were making bank. Okay. She was a spender, of course, because that's what women do. But I always made sure that we were putting money into her TSP. I set it up automatically. And I increased her TSP over time as she got raises. And I increased my TSP every single time. And then I'd randomly chuck money into a taxable account. Okay? When I deployed to Afghanistan, this is me in Afghanistan. I know it's photoshopped. When it was me in Afghanistan, I really started to turbocharge my TSP. Because like I literally, when I went to Afghanistan, I think I saved $50,000. I had 0 bills, 0 freaking bills. And I was just getting paid, and you have all this extra pay, and your money was tax free. So I was able to not pay taxes on my income, put money in my Roth 401k. This was in 2014, 2015. And it basically, I'll never pay tax on that again. Okay? That's all I did. Simple as that. Now, when I was back in the States after deployment, before deployment, I would drink a bunch. I blew like a lot of money, honestly, looking back on just like screwing off and drinking alcohol, which was not a good idea. And I kind of regret doing that. But I mean, it was also fun. So whatever. But I kept it very simple. Didn't take out any debt. Never took out debt. Never overspent. Always increased my TSP. No matter what. If I wasn't saving, I was panicking. If I was breaking even, which I never was at that point, at least till later in life. When I was breaking even, illegal. No, you must save. It is the law. Simple as that. Always save in tax advantage accounts. Always and never sell, and keep it simple. Okay? And if you have a good income when you're younger and you turbocharge your investing younger, it will set you up for the rest of your life. This is a big reason that I was successful. But I did have a financially devastating event. Okay? I got out of the Army in November 2016, and I moved to Germany with my ex-wife at the time. She was still on active duty, and I was a financial advisor in Germany. Okay? Total grift. Regret doing it. But we were getting paid pretty freaking well, and I was able to save a ton of money over there. Boom, 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 boom. Okay? I was still in the reserves at the time. However, I received my first financially devastating event. I got divorced. That's right. My first wife never complained. Well, okay, maybe once or twice. Always worked out. Family in England and Spain. Everything was wonderful. Okay? But she didn't want to have kids, and we kept fighting about it. And eventually, we just decided to separate in late 2018. So I was in Germany from 2017 to 2018 for basically a year. I basically left in Thanksgiving 2017, and I came back Thanksgiving 2018. No, wait. Yeah, wait. No, I left 2016 to go to Germany, and I came back in 2017. That's what happened, okay? Now, while I was in Germany for that last year, I was married to my queen, I was in the Army Reserves, and I was a financial advisor, and she was an active duty captain, so we were making pretty good freaking money. Whenever I got drill pay, I put all my drill pay into the thrift savings plan. That's basically what I did, and I would save her money like crazy. And I really started to chuck money at our taxable account in Vanguard. I got that baby by the end of 2017 to $100,000. And you can see this graph right here as proof of what happened, okay? So the account briefly topped $100,000. And it looks like, I don't know, late 2017. And then you see a vertical line going down. What do you think that was, ladies and gentlemen? So my net worth when I finally, got divorced was $300,000. I was 27, $300,000. No college debt. Never took expensive car loans. We had to buy her a car, but it was like $18K. Bought a cheap car. Never spent below my means. Always increased my savings. Focused on saving at all times, but was still able to enjoy myself. High income when I was young. And I had $300,000. And then in the blink of an eye, it dropped to $160K. Now, she was nice since we both knew I was the saver. And honestly, looking back, I should have got freaking more than this. What a scam. I took $160K. She took $140K. Okay? So in an instant, I lost basically a huge half of my net worth, basically, if you round it out, okay? So I then moved back from Germany with my rinky-dinky little Ford Fiesta, which I still have to this day. The interim period, so I'm divorced, I'm separated, divorced, okay? I was unemployed. I had 0 degrees besides history. I moved back in with my mom and dad while I attended college for accounting. I had a girlfriend up when I lived with my parents' house, but then I dumped her as soon as I moved down to Hampton. And then I got a job. I finally got a job. So I was living at my parents' from Thanksgiving 2017 to about April 2018. And in April 2018, I started at NASA. And they were paying me a whopping $36,000. Now, when I was unemployed and living with my parents, I was just living off like drill pay, basically, and a little bit of GI Bill money. And I really couldn't save. I mean, obviously I saved like some money, but my income was so low, I really couldn't save. So my net worth was 160, 170, whatever. Okay. And then I moved to Hampton, started my job at NASA, and got $36,000. But even then, I still saved. I said, okay, I make $36K as long as I live cheap. I didn't have any kids, didn't have a wife, girlfriend. If I live cheap, I can easily save. And being at NASA making $36K and then being in the Army making about $14K. So my total income was probably about $50K. I was able to start contributing again. Little bits into my TSP. But every little bit counts. And I was getting a match at NASA. I was getting a 401k match. Okay? And I met my queen, my second queen. She was a secretary. I was barely saving at the time, but I always made sure I did. No matter what, I saved money. I always save. Good times and bad times. Unless it's like really desperate. My income from 2018 to 2021 when I was at NASA grew steadily. I got a promotion every day. And I always increased my 401k contributions. And then I started side gigs. I said, hey, if I have this full-time job, but I also do stuff on the side, I can make more money and start funding my accounts. And I did tutoring. I started YouTube. I got into textbook stuff in like 2020, 2021. And eventually I got into tax, but that's later. And because of that, from being financially devastated, losing half of my money, starting at a crappy job making $36K a year, within 3 years in 2021, I was finally able to max my NASA 401k in 2021. Massive increase in savings from side gigs, living cheaply, and always focusing on savings. Every time I got a raise, boom, increase the contribution. I was able to max my 401k in 2021. And it was quite the achievement. I was proud of myself, okay? Then I got married. Here's a picture of me and my 2 children and my lovely wife. So I got married again in 2020. I bought a home in 2020, right at the perfect time. You know, not to brag here, but I mean, it was partially luck. But the pandemic happened, rates dropped massively, and I said, I'm buying a freaking house. Got a 2.89% mortgage and locked it in, okay? During the time, I got a bachelor's, a master's in accounting, and a CPA license. So I was working my butt off, okay? I don't want to hear you complaining. Oh, I have my 40 hours a week. I worked full-time, and I studied after work for years. And I got all these certifications and degrees. Worked side gigs. It was brutal. I popped out 2 kids. Quit NASA in late 2021. Long story. But that place was awful. And it was just boring. Like, you didn't do anything. You just sat around like a slug. Like a wet, slimy slug. Quit NASA right after I maxed 401k. Started a job in tax accounting at a local firm. Stayed there for about 9 months where I developed my skills in tax preparation, which was actually critical and will be critical to my future income and success. So I started developing tax accounting skills. I did a bunch of tax returns there. Individual, business, all that stuff. A tad bit of bookkeeping, but nothing crazy. And then I quit in 2022 because, for multiple reasons, but the job was great, but they weren't paying me that much. And I was offered a virtual job working for another tax firm, and they offered me a $10,000 raise. So I got a virtual job with a $10,000 raise. Did that job for about 5-6 months. Had some conflicts with some people. Left that job in tax. This was also a tax job. And then got my current job. And throughout this time, I always saved. I maxed my IRAs from 2021 to 2024. Both mine and my spouse's. I maxed them. I started retirement plan, or not retirement, but college funds for my kids. And I always saved. Good times and bad. Save. Don't be a degenerate. Buy index funds. Stay the course. Never sell. Simple as that. It's that easy. Trust me. Okay? Then I got divorced again. Long story. I'm not talking about it here. So, when I got divorced, I had to basically move out of my house. So, my queen and my 2 kids stayed in my house. I lived in a dinky apartment. My 401k at my current job, I was actually like putting in enough to max it at the time. I was putting in a big chunk of change, and then I had to, because I had to pay rent at my new apartment. I had to drop my 401k back to 5%. So it was like a huge, devastating loss. So I dropped my 401k contributions. I was paying out the butt. I was supporting 2 households. Barely breaking even. But even then, paying for a mortgage and rent. And basically, I had to basically support the family and all her BS spending for a couple months while we were separated. It was brutal. It was freaking brutal. And one thing that saved me was tax season, okay? Because I was getting pulverized. But I had all this income come in during tax season, and it really saved my butt. So I'm glad. But I still was able to save. It is illegal to not save. It's against the law. Okay? And then eventually I moved back into my house. She moved out. Got all our support agreements signed. And over time, basically this was all in 2024. And from the beginning of this year to where I was putting 5% in, I ratcheted up my savings because I finally was able to hammer down a budget instead of just getting shellacked by credit card bills. I was finally able to control my finances for once in my adult life. And I'm now at the point where I'm maxing my 401k. I'm very close to maxing it, okay? So in this divorce, I got a prenup, luckily, so I lost $50K. And at the time, I ended with about $450,000 of stock and my house. So we had about $500,000 at the time. She had her retirement accounts. I had, being a clown, I had funded her accounts for her because I'm a generous guy, funded her accounts, and she basically took her accounts. I took mine, and that's where I was at the beginning of this year. And now we're in a clown market, so my portfolio has gone up decently, okay? So my current situation, I'm almost maxing my 401k. Actually, I could probably ratchet it up, but I'm entering a new tax bracket next year, so I'm going to be a little bit more conservative with that. So I'm almost maxing my 401k. I'm maxing my IRA. Any excess cash goes in a taxable account. I'm 100% VT with a little bit of money in a clown account, but basically I'm 100% Total World Index Fund. Total World Stock Index Fund. Don't trade, or if I do, it's like with $100, screw it off in Robinhood. Okay? Net worth, his stock value has gone up because of the bull market. Got a decent chunk of money in home equity. Living on my own, get my kids. I actually see them pretty often. And I vowed to never get married again. I'm not doing it. Trust me. There's too much at risk now. But I may have more kids if a woman agrees to have kids with me. Okay? Without marrying me. So what are the keys to success? Here's a picture. Here's my first picture I ever posted on Facebook. What do you think? Think I'm hot? My little Mario hat in the corner, my little alarm clock, my little game discs. You see them on the desk. So what are the keys to my success? I've started side hustles. I got the bug of self-employment. When I started doing tutoring and I started bringing in I made like 20K in tutoring in 1 year. I was getting 5-star, 5-star, 5-star. People were, oh, you're so amazing, Chris. I got glowing reviews. And I said, wait a minute. I could be a wagee for the rest of my life, or I could try to start my own business. Because I think there's potential here. If all these people think that I'm such a great tutor and so good at accounting, maybe I could start my own business. And for the last 4 years, I've been doing stuff on the side. And it's had a significant effect on my finances. Huge effect. Bailed me out of multiple situations. Get a freaking side hustle. When you get married, get a prenup. You saw the devastation, okay? Always save, never sell. Save money. Always save. It is illegal to not save. It is against the law. If you can't save, you're losing. No breaking even here. Save. I always saved. Maybe it was 5%. Maybe it was 30% of my income. But I always found a way. And I never sold my portfolio. Because to do so is stupid. I have a super simple plan. Super simple investing plan. I never blew up my portfolio. I only buy index funds. Total World Index Funds. I didn't have any student loan debt. Joined the Army, bro. I always avoided expensive cars. I got a low mortgage rate, no down payment because of the VA, but I got a tiny home. People laugh at me about my house. I don't care. I'm balling, or I will be balling in a couple of years. Got some expenses now, but we'll get through it, okay? And I had a high savings rate at a young age. That's it. Make money, live below your means, max your tax advantage accounts, never sell your stocks, never sell your index funds, always save. Don't buy stupid cars. Buy a reasonable, modest house. And over time, you will shock yourself. If you max your 401k and IRA every year, it's going to blow your freaking mind how fast you get rich. I mean, look at me. I got divorced twice. And I'm still doing pretty freaking good. Imagine if I didn't get divorced twice. I'd be a millionaire by now. But it's okay. Life's a struggle, okay? So that's it. What do you think of the story of my financial journey? Do you think I have a good financial journey? But thanks for watching the video. If you made it this far, like, subscribe. Check out my tax preparation services. Like I said, I do taxes for any state in the United States. I do free consultations, 30 minutes. You can talk to me for free, and we go over your tax situation. And then I give you an upfront quote, which does not change unless you hide stuff from me. Have a wonderful night. Cheers.